Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. All right, I got myself a suitcase. I got Oracal 651 sign vinyl, medium tack transfer tape. I got masking tape and painter's tape. I got some spray paint. Got a measuring tape. I got my vinyl weeder, my scissors, and my squeegee. Now I'm gonna go pick out some images. All right, so these are the images I chose. Now I'm gonna go measure my suitcase so I can size these up properly. All right, so now I'm gonna take some measurements of where I'm gonna put the images. All right, so now I got everything sized up properly. I'm gonna start printing each image one by one on the Oracal 651 sign vinyl. All right, now I can read my vinyl. All right, so I'm gonna do my QR code first. I'm gonna make sure I get all the small details so the QR code works properly. Next, I'm gonna weed out my logo. Then I'm gonna do that just create. All right, now that I got everything weeded, I'm gonna take my transfer tape, I'm gonna measure it out. I'm gonna take my squeegee, line it up so I get the whole image. Make sure the transfer paper is nice and smooth and laying flat. Then I'm gonna do the same thing for the logo. I always like to stick it to another surface first. Pull this tight, take the squeegee, and then slowly put it onto the vinyl. You already know that just create. I like to always cut the piece bigger than the piece of the vinyl. Now I'm gonna take a microfiber rag, get this nice and clean. All right, so now that I got my stencil placed where I want it, I'm gonna take some of the blue painter's tape and I'm gonna tape it horizontally to hold it into place. All right, then I'm gonna trim my stencil so this way the paper fits in between the grooves on the suitcase. As you can see, the top and the bottom, I don't want the paper to overlap those grooves. All right, now I'm just gonna double check my measurements to make sure the logo is centered on the suitcase. All right, so now I can peel the back off the stencil and I'm gonna pull it to the top of the tape. And the reason that tape is there, so I'm only gonna put part of the stencil on at a time. I'm gonna cut the backing off. All right, now I'm gonna apply the top part of the stencil to the suitcase. Then Then I can remove the tape off the stencil. Then I'm just gonna peel the back off the rest of the stencil. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna use my fingers. Then I'm gonna use my squeegee as well. All right, so there's a lot of grooves on here, so I'm gonna make sure I get everything sticking to the suitcase. So I'm gonna use my thumb. All right, so now I'm gonna peel back the transfer tape, use my thumb and my fingers, and make sure all the stencil sticks to the suitcase. I'm just gonna make sure the stencil's completely onto the suitcase, and like I said before, in between all those grooves. I'm gonna throw a garbage bag over the whole entire suitcase. Then I'm gonna tape it to the suitcase. All right, so now I'm gonna cut the garbage bag. I'm gonna cut the stencil out. So I'm gonna make the rectangle in the shape of the stencil. Then I'm gonna tape the cut edges of the garbage bag to the stencil. All right, I'm gonna hit it with some primer first. All right, now I'm gonna hit it with that bright neon green. And you wanna make sure when you're spray painting, you do a nice, flat, even coat. Now I'm gonna let it dry, and I'm gonna slowly peel the stencil off. Then I can peel the back of the Just Create stencil off, and place it on the side of the suitcase. Then I'm gonna peel the transfer tape back and make sure the stencil sticks to the suitcase. All right, now my stencil's ready to go. I did the same thing with the garbage bag. I'm gonna hit it with that primer first. Now after the primer's dry, I'm gonna hit it with that neon green. Once it's completely dry, I can slowly peel the stencil off. Now, due to the fact that this suitcase has grooves, I'm not sure if the QR code is gonna scan after I paint it, if it's gonna distort it or not. Only one way to find out, and I'm gonna just create. So I'm going to apply the QR code the same way I applied the logo. I'm going to tape the painter's tape, tape it horizontal, pull the back down to the tape, then I'm going to cut the backing off. Then I can apply the stencil to the suitcase. Then I can remove the painter's tape. Then I'm gonna peel the rest of the back off the stencil and apply it to the suitcase. I'm gonna take my squeegee, get in all those grooves, make sure this QR code is on there perfect, because I want this to scan after I paint it. Now I'm gonna slowly peel the transfer tape off and make sure the whole entire stencil is on that suitcase and everything is flat and good to go. And I took my time with this, just pulling it piece by piece, making sure all the little pieces of the QR code on the stencil are applying properly to the suitcase. Peel off that last little piece of transfer tape. Make sure everything is good to go. Do the same thing with the garbage bag. Hit it with my primer first. Let the primer dry. Then I'm gonna come with that neon green. Get a nice flat even coat. Now with spray paint, try not to overspray. Don't get too close. Like I said before, you want a nice flat even coat and make sure it's completely dry. All right, then I can slowly peel the garbage bag off. Then I'm gonna slowly remove my stencil. I decided to add one more thing to the suitcase. I'm gonna throw that DN style right there on the side of the suitcase. Got my stencil ready to go, place it on there. All right, let me just get my tape measure because I want to make sure this is centered. All right, so I'm gonna make my little adjustment to make sure it's properly centered. All right, it's good to go. So now I'm just gonna use my fingers and apply it to the suitcase. Hit it with that primer. Let it dry. Then I'm gonna hit it with that neon green. Remove the garbage bag. And slowly remove the stencil. And that's how you customize a suitcase. These colors go crazy, the QR code works. And remember, just create.